To Stacy, with love and appreciation for your 14 years of dedication to KPM families, 12/16/11.
On December 16th, family, friends, and supporters gathered at Cruiseport, Gloucester to celebrate 20 years of Cape Ann families and to honor Stacy Randell for her outstanding service as its director. And this is for you, Stacy. C is for compassionate. A is for advocate. P is for patient. E is for encouraging. A is for advisor. N is for nurturer. N is for no nonsense. F is for friend. A is for attentive. M is for mother. I is for incredible. L is for listener. I is for imaginative. E is for entertaining. S is for sister. These words, which of course spell Cape Ann families, are but a few that describe Stacy. I'm so happy to be here tonight to help honor her. About 15 years ago, I was a member of the committee that had the difficult task of replacing Rebecca. We hired Stacy, and through the years, Nancy Schwoyer and I have congratulated ourselves many times over for our very wise choice. The one letter missing from Cape Ann families that I want to use is the letter P. It stands for one of Stacy's favorite words, peace. And that is what I always wish for her, peace. Thanks, Stacy. Nancy Schwoyer and Rosemary Houghton are two of the original founders of Wellspring House, and Nancy recently retired as the director of Wellspring. They are now currently living in England. And this is a letter that was sent that I have the honor of reading. And this is for you, Stace. Greetings to Pathways, to Sue Todd and the staff, to the Board of Directors, and to Stacy Randell, whom we all recognize this evening for her leadership as Director of Cape Ann Families for 15 years of its 20 years, including the leadership and hard work she did with others to ensure the continuation of this important community work in a new home, Pathways for Children. We send our congratulations and love across the Atlantic and join you all in honoring Stacy, a remarkable woman who walks the talk. She is a woman who yearns for and works for peace and justice in families and for families and children, in our schools, in our neighborhoods, in our special part of the world, Cape Ann. She believes in the fact of interdependence and therefore cherishes community and relationships and the values of connection and mutuality as essential for human growth. Stacy is a responsible woman, a daughter, a mother to Isaac, a soccer coach, a playwright, an artist, a teacher, and a mentor, an advocate, a board member, and president of boards, a colleague, a friend, our friend. All of these values and roles she has lived with us and for us here on Cape Ann and beyond. So along with many others, we thank you, Pathways, for recognizing her and for celebrating 20 years of Cape Ann families. And Stacy, thank you. Well done and cheers. Dance your feet off this evening, and may the energy you release from that renew us all. With our love and congratulations, Nancy and Rosemary.
Stacy empowered me to think outside the box and helped me regain my life through her family-focused program, Parent Connection. During this group, Stacy provided guidance and support, and most importantly, she listened to our challenges, sharing her own private successes and struggles as a single mother. That group helped me in ways I can't express. It allowed me to regain my own positive self-image as a parent and has helped me to continue to face the challenges of raising a child today as a single parent. It was here that I learned to believe in myself again, and where I learned, excuse me, and where I learned some of the most invaluable life lessons for a healthy and happy life. To give an enemy forgiveness, to give a friend your heart, and to give every child a good example, and most importantly, to give yourself respect. At this Christmas season, we celebrate the light that Stacy has brought to our community and to our lives. It is with tremendous respect and honor that I say thank you to Stacy for giving me the opportunity to share in these special moments. I am honored that we celebrate tonight Stacy for all she has given to us as a colleague, friend, and a member of this great community. I will end by saying one of my favorite sayings: never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed people can change the world. I would now like to ask Sue Todd to come up and say a few words.
It's actually thrilling to be in a room where two others have had to use the step stool. Nan, it was a great tribute. There was one thing I'd like to say, though. If I had had a vote relative to putting words after all those letters, I'd have chosen a much different one for the F, and it would have been feisty. Because that's definitely Stacy. I've had the terribly wonderful privilege of not only being Stacy's consultant, I also supervised Rebecca in her time there, and actually go back to the dark ages, and was the first one that trained Ann Gifford. So my heart has always been with this program, and we were thrilled to be able to take it over. Stacy has been quite a lady to work with all these years, and she has been feisty and challenging at times because her beliefs were so deeply held, and she never wavered from them. Very, very special person, has become a special friend, and I do hope people take advantage of seeing the wonderful pictures that have been gathered, because they tell the story too. So I thank everyone for being here this evening and celebrating a wonderful person who is not going to be leaving our community anytime soon, and will have a lot more to give. I have also one more thing. The mayor was not able to be here this evening, but she did ask me to deliver this proclamation on her behalf. Special citation for Stacy Randell. The City of Gloucester is proud to honor you for your leadership, advocacy, and tenacity that was the driving force in keeping the Cape Ann Families programs on course since their inception 15 years ago. Our community is better off today because of you and your selfless spirit of giving and the impact you have had on the lives of children and families since 1987, and continue to have, I will add. You are to be commended for your beliefs that all people have the right to live in homes free of violence, and for the numerous workshops and conference presentations you've developed. On behalf of all the residents of the City of Gloucester, I extend sincere thanks and congratulations on a job very well done, along with our best wishes for continued success in your future endeavors. Given under my signature and the seal of the City of Gloucester this 16th day of December 2011, signed by Carolyn Kirk, Mayor. Now, Stacy, it's your turn.
Well, this is kind of overwhelming. Thank you all for being here. I don't like to be in the spotlight, so I'm going to have to get used to it tonight. So I only have 3 minutes, according to Debbie, so I'm going to make it quick. But it truly is an honor for me to be here tonight celebrating 20 years of Cape Ann Families, and particularly the struggle to save Cape Ann Families last fall. But it certainly was not an individual achievement by any stretch of the imagination. It was a communal one to the fullest extent. And people that know me know that I'm a big fan of the written word, and I quote a lot of people, so I'm going to include a couple other people tonight. The first one is Margaret Wheatley, who's one of my favorite writers, and she wrote, "There's no power greater than a community discovering what it cares about. Ask what's possible, not what's wrong. Keep asking. Be brave enough to start a conversation that matters. Trust that meaningful conversations can change your world. Rely on human goodness and stay together." And we certainly did stay together last fall. I can't possibly thank everyone involved, but I do want to mention a few names. The first is Debbie Nelson, Nancy Goodman, Jennifer Waring, Heidi McGrath, Nana Ranio, Anne-Marie Beauplan, the Reverend Ann Deneen, Sheila Doctoroff, Patty Doggett, Ev Harlow, Rebecca Koch, Jan Ireton, Jane Porter, Missy Smith, Julie Thomas, Jane Saltonstall, Ann Gifford, all foundation and individual donors, the Wellspring House community, Parent Mentor, Teen Mentor, Nurturing Program, and Parent Connection staff, volunteers, and participants, past and present, the incredibly talented O'Malley Middle School Talent Show acts, and Sue Todd and the Pathways Board for believing in the value and mission of Cape Ann families. Alex Noble wrote that success is not a place at which one arrives, but rather the spirit which one undertakes and continues the journey. And there's certainly a tremendous abundance of spirit in this community, and that was the key and is the key to Cape Ann family success. There's one name that was missing on the list previously, but I certainly did not forget her, and that is Cindy O'Donnell, who was on the journey of Cape Ann families for 8 years, and without whom I don't think I would have survived those 3 months. I mean, besides donating tons of her time, she was my moral background and just kept me going. So I created the first ever Endless Love Award. So I just want to show you the trophy. And this is for Cindy. So Cindy, please come up. So as previously mentioned, the core of Cape Ann families is social and interpersonal justice. And in order to preserve it for the next 20 years, that's the core value that has to stay alive within the programs and any decision made about the programs. But we can't achieve that without your continued support as donors and volunteers. The original Wellspring understood the connection between adverse childhood experiences and lifetime achievement in social justice. Nan understood when she saw that little boy. She understood interconnection and how that boy, even though she didn't know him, still had an impact on her life, and how each life does touch every other life with empathy, accountability, responsibility without judgment. She didn't ask, what's wrong with that father? She said, how can I help him? What's possible? How can I create support for him and keep the boy safe? And so the Parent Mentor program began with one person's connection to another. Alex Noble again said, the miraculous energy that flows between two people who care enough to get beyond surfaces and games, who are willing to take the risks of being totally open, of listening, of responding with a whole heart. How much we can do for each other. How much indeed. It's never too early for a Women's History Moment, even though it's officially in March. So I wanted to share a little piece from one of my heroines, Jeanette Rankin, who was the first woman elected to the US Congress in 1917, representing the state of Montana. One of the things that she did was travel around the country talking to high school students because she realized how important they were to get a real education and to become advocates for the future. And she told this story of her own high school days. We had a boy in my class who, as a baby, had been carried in a covered wagon across territories in which hostile Indians still roamed. Early one morning, the caravan heard Indians coming. There was a considerable number of them, women as well as men. The white men in the caravan ran for their guns. But the mother of the boy, who was to become my classmate, took her baby in her arms and walked ahead alone. When she reached the Indians, who had halted when they saw her approaching, she handed her baby to one of them. Quite possibly, it was the first white baby they had ever seen. The Indians took this as a sign of trust and friendship. They handed the baby back to the mother and went on their way. I would say to the children, when I had finished the story, you will not be able to hand your senator a baby when it comes to your town, but you can do something to make him understand that you really care about abolishing strife and hatred among men. So I think that's a really powerful story for me because it demonstrates how hatred, violence, intolerance, and fear are truly disarmed in the face of love. And that's, again, what Cape and Families is all about. PBS recently did a show on the nature of happiness. It wasn't money, it wasn't fame, it was about healthy relationships. And that whatever your age is, whether you're a child or adult, it's never too late. Because once you engage in family or social connections, that is the key to your human development. One poem I've given out to many of you in various settings is by Diane Lomas, where she talks about raising her child in a different way, and the last line is, I would teach less about the love of power and more about the power of love. And that truly is the road to social justice. To end, the last quote by Alex Noble. If I have been of service, if I have glimpsed more of the nature and essence of ultimate good, if I am inspired to reach wider horizons of thought and action, if I am at peace with myself, it has been a successful day. I'm wishing you many successful days and nights. Thank you so much for coming tonight. Have a wondrous holiday season. Peace.
Stacy, we would like to present you with this dish that's been specially made for you by Sigrid Olsen. And it says, to Stacy, with love and appreciation for your 14 years of dedication to KPM Families, 12/16/11.